Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm heading home from work right now, and I gotta redo this video. So I tried to do a recording on my way in, but the camera, the Insta360 One-R that I just went over in my last video, it stopped recording at like 2 minutes and 32 seconds this morning, right after I left my house, and I didn't catch that it had stopped recording, so I'm not really sure what happened. My only theory with what happened is after I had set off, I clicked the lock button on my phone, and I think when my phone locked, it kind of commanded the Insta360 app to close. And so since I had started the recording by using the application as like the smart remote, I think that subsequently turned off the recording by accident. So I don't think it's of any like fault of the camera or anything like that. I did a short little test when I went from the main building I work at over to the clinic, and it was about 5 minutes long and nothing seemed to go wrong. So I'm actually running the Insta360 One-R application right now. Started the recording with the app, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the application open the whole time I'm recording, so that way I can actually see if our recording is still going or if it has for some reason stopped. So that way I don't have to get home or to wherever I'm going anymore and feel like an idiot because I have no footage. I'll be able to see right away that something went wrong. So that's why you can probably see my phone down there a little bit with the app open, so don't mind it. But anyways, on my way in, I was just kind of going over like, hey, I wonder how this camera is going to sound. I wonder if it processes sound differently from the GoPro, because the GoPro had really bad problems with microphone peaking. And basically what that is every time I would get up to a high rate of speed and there was enough wind kind of entering the helmet, that wind, once it hits the actual microphone element, it creates what's called microphone peaking, where basically it hits its limit and it can cause this popping sound, right? So you could hear that popping sound pretty substantially in like the first video I ever did with the Purple Panda mic and the GoPro Hero 8 together, and that was mostly due to really bad microphone placement. So after a couple tries, I got that remedied, and I still have the microphone in the exact same place where I would use it on my Hero 8, so no difference there. The only difference I've made recently was I took the chin curtain from my SS1600 helmet, and I was able to make it fit onto my Alliance GT, which is what I'm using right now. So my icon here finally has a chin curtain, and it helps a little bit. It doesn't make like a super huge substantial difference, but I can definitely notice a little bit of difference. So it definitely works well enough. And I mean, you're never gonna like completely block out wind noise from a helmet. It's kind of impossible, because when you sacrifice blocking wind noise from entering your helmet, as that gets better, you're actually sacrificing wind flow as well. So you're either going to have really nice airflow and stay cool during the summer, or you're going to have really nice wind-free microphone when it comes to motovlogging. So you kind of really have to choose what you want. And I mean, I don't mind suffering through like a tiny bit of heat. Like, idiot. So I don't mind suffering through like a little bit of heat, right, to get a little bit better sound. But I mean, it does get intensely hot, especially up by where I live. So if I have to suffer through a little bit of wind noise in my footage, I'm good with that. Now, one thing I did notice during the light testing I had while I was still on base, I only hit I could only do like 30 miles per hour, but I had the lid, my visor, kind of cracked open so that a little more wind could come in. And I have to say, it seemed like it handled noise a lot better than the GoPro with the Media Mod did. So I actually noticed a substantially less wind noise in the footage, and that my voice was a lot more loud and clear. I'm definitely going to go ahead and say that I think the GoPro has an issue with the new media mod, at least, that it over processes noise when it comes to an external microphone. Especially this particular microphone. You know, maybe it could work better on some other microphones, but the purple panda lavalier mic, it did not seem to pair well with. I got like so much wind and so much popping and peaking. Whereas so far, I think the Insta360 1R is doing a lot better. Now, I lost all the highway footage that I had earlier, so I can't really say how well it does up, you know, 60 plus, 80 plus miles per hour yet, but we're about to find out real quick. Why is this guy going so slow? Alright, so I'm doing about 72 miles per hour now. So we'll see when I get home how this sounds. This is generally the speed that like the microphone peaking and the popping used to kind of start when I was using the GoPro. I'm going to take it up to 80 here real quick while we have a little bit of space. Just got a low fuel warning. Alright, so we're at 81 now. And this is what it's going to sound like. So, like I said, I won't be able to hear or see this until I get home. Good news is the camera is still recording, so that's always a good sign. I don't know if I want to do too much talking at this point in time, because what happens if I get home and I was trying to talk and you can't hear me? So I'm going to go ahead and skip this whole section of highway, and once I get off the highway closer to home, then we'll come back to the video. The only thing I'm really going to be testing at this point in time is that the camera continues to keep recording, because that's super important. What is it with people like cutting me off today? Idiot. Alright, so I'm getting ready to come off the highway now, slowing down. I need gas. I don't know if you can see it, I'll lean in, but my red fuel indicator is blinking. It says I got like 12 miles of range left. I mean, I've had that thing blink on me when I actually have like a good 0.7 gallons of gas still in the tank, which is more than enough to make it like another 30 miles at least. So I think that the fuel gauge can be a little bit pessimistic sometimes, but it is trying to keep me from, you know, running out of gas and being on the side of the road. So I listen to it. So I'm going to pull into a gas station that's right up here. And I can already tell just by trying to glance down at my phone while I was riding that I don't like the camera angle. I feel like it's just a little bit too far down. I can't really like lean myself forward and into the bike kind of behind the windscreen like I like to when I'm on the highway without putting you guys like right there and that's all you see. So I don't like that. I'm going to play with the mount a little bit while I'm at the gas station and see if I can get it at an angle that I feel is more acceptable. So you guys will see that right after I fill up with gas here. Alright, so I'm on my way home now. We got gas. I'll be there shortly. One other little thing I just kind of wanted to mention about the bike is that tomorrow I'm getting a set of GPR 300 Dunlop tires installed on it, the ones that I got for a good price thanks to a buddy of mine on Facebook in our Facebook group for the Duke 390. Got the hookup. So they're basically just stock takeoffs from a Ninja 400, 0 miles on them. Got a really good price on them, shipped out to California from like PA or something like that. So I'm gonna get those put on tomorrow, and I'll definitely let you guys know in a future video what I think of them, if they handle any differently compared to the M5s, which I'm sure they might. Now, something I'm a little bit disappointed about with these M5s is being a factory tire, they're actually not a bad tire, but one thing I'm disappointed about is that I've got 3,800, just over 3,800 miles on this bike, and they're already ready for replacement. So the front is actually pretty decent. It's got about 50% tread life left on it, but the rear one is pretty much toast. It's not completely toasted, but I'm on the wear bars in the center, so you can tell that these tires were not designed to last. They're not like a long range commuting tire or anything like that, and I don't blame KTM for wanting to use this tire as an OEM tire. It's a really nice tire. So the Sporttech M5 tire that they put on these things definitely can handle some twisties really good, really nice. So it's a decent tire. It's just not made to last. So if you're buying a Duke 390 and they're still using these Sporttech M5s on here, expect to have to replace at least the rear tire right around 3,500 miles or so. I've actually seen some reports where people had to replace them even sooner than that, but I guess it really all depends on how harsh you are on your tire. Also your environmental conditions. The hotter it is, typically the faster you can wear out a tire, because the tire compound is going to heat up and stick. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think of the footage that was captured. I am going to have to try like a different mount to get the angle exactly where I want it. I wasn't able to get anything better than what I have right now when I was messing around with it at the gas station. So I'll have to try one of the other mounts that I have inside the garage and see if I can get it exactly where I want it. But until then, stay tuned, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the video and anything else you might want to see in the future.